Freedom of speech. Pakistan on the verge of civil war. Freedom of speech is the right of having your own thoughts and opinions and is a fundamental human right, enshrined in Article 19 of the Universal Declaration of Human Rights. But around the world, there are governments and people who yield power who find many ways to obstruct it, making it harder for people to express their opinions and thoughts. We live in a country where we have access to the internet and the other forms of media where we can express our thoughts and emotions. Not everyone is as lucky as us. On October 16, 2020, Samuel Paty, a school teacher, was beheaded by terrorists because he showed cartoons of Prophet Muhammad as an example of freedom of speech and expression. Paty had been doing this since 2015. The year French satirical magazine Charlie Hebdo suffered a terrorist attack. The cartoons Paty showed was from Charlie Hebdo. Before his gruesome killing, Paty had been subject to online threats for showing cartoons in his class. And now France is banning all religious symbols in schools, which will be banning over 1.675 million Muslim females from wearing hijab or niqab. And halal meat, also known as permissible meat, which is the only meat that Muslims can eat, is also being banned from France, and that affects over 3.350 million people. You might be wondering, who is Prophet Muhammad and why was Paty beheaded for showing his students a cartoon of him? Well, Prophet is the term used for someone sent from God to teach people and to convey God's message to them. According to most Muslims, depicting Prophet is haram or forbidden, no matter if they depict it in a good way or bad, as they do not like praying to idols. But pictures of Muhammad do exist, most with his face covered, as they aren't made for idolization. But the Quran never says anything about not depicting Prophet. Mass protests first erupted after a series of calls for nationwide rallies against the government of Prime Minister Imran Khan and his cabinet, orchestrated by a party named Tehreek-e-Labaq Pakistan (TLP). The primary motive was against France's view on freedom of speech and radical Islam, concerning a blasphemous cartoon published there and events surrounding the murder of Samuel Paty. The demonstrators demanded a boycott of French goods and expulsion of the French ambassador. This protest is taking a very scary turn. Multiple policemen have been killed, taken hostage, and tortured. It's reached the point where France has asked its citizens to leave Pakistan even though both countries are in lockdown. Luckily, the party Tehreek-e-Labaq has been banned for terrorism, but unfortunately it doesn't look like the protesters are stopping soon. To conclude, what the people of Pakistan are doing isn't correct and quite extreme, but what France did was not correct either. France is mad because of the beheading of the teacher and is trying to prove that everyone has freedom of speech, but by banning religious things, they're taking away people's freedom of speech.